It's the Backpack Show. The Backpack
On a
Show.
Monday night? That's
Monday night.
shenanigans.
I know, but sometimes you got to mix it up a little bit for people.
We haven't been
Sometimes
on a Monday in forever. Remember when we
I
used to be every
know.
weekday?
Gosh, every weekday. That was work.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I
was
mean, if I
for
didn't
me.
have for you, if I take that mask off, will it hurt? It would be painful. You're a big guy for you. Yeah. So Backpack After Dark. I mean, we're here. We get a chance to talk to people about fun, shenanigans, frolic, even.
Welcome to the Backpack Show with your hosts, Chris Brogan and Kerry Gorgone. Boom shakalaka!
Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
Gosh, you remember them most well.
That was so cool. We had Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus on the same show as the first non-binary Eagle Scout. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm here for this.
I always love the mix. I love the mix of guests. I mean, you could do a thing like that if you have a show run on StreamYard. Go to cbrogan.me/StreamYard. You can run your own video show and pick whatever guests you feel like getting.
The Easter Bunny.
Stuff. Yeah. We've had a financial dominatrix and an old-fashioned smacking around dominatrix on the same show.
I didn't know there were different kinds. Hello, Mr. Collins, until I did the show. Hi.
Look, we had Andrea Simon on the show, speaking of which. And by the way, if you didn't get the chance to hang out with her in video form, you could have got her in audio form on castos.com. You could have just, go to
Raul's
Castos.
Going to bed.
Your own podcast. Oh, good night, Raul. I was actually, recommending your company to somebody today.
Nice.
So, hey, Deb. If you went to something like presearch.com and you looked up Raul, you'd probably find him there. Presearch.com is an incredible search engine.
It's a nice search engine.
Yeah.
I like your whole story.
Thank you. Well, I was talking to my grandmother through a medium about this, and she said if you want your own online domain, you really ought to think about getting one of these. So
no,
you go to
this is just disrespectful.
Just use the code Chris in all caps. That's what my grandma would say if she were alive.
That's disrespectful. Don't put words in her mouth. You do know she would have endorsed the show in any way.
Oh, she probably would think it was beautiful because I was her favorite. At least ostensibly, so no one can defend that.
No, totally. I bet.
My mom and dad forgot to show up, so I can run roughshod over them.
Nice background. Thanks, Bob Collins.
Yeah, notice Kerry's shirt too. Come on.
Oh yeah, well we have our names up, so
probably
not
what are we gonna do? Oh, I know. Look here, watch.
I asked stop it. I asked what you wanted to talk about today, and you said some crazy things. So
Chris is either talking about his grandma or a dominatrix.
No, that wasn't it. You said something about what band was better, or like what band?
Yes. Yeah. There's a band called Alien Weaponry, and there's a band called Bloodywood. And Alien Weaponry is a New Zealand band that sings a lot of their songs in Maori, the tongue of the Maori people. I don't know if their tongue is called Maori.
Oh, there it is. Now you can sort of see.
Tag Nagada, I think, is the name of the song. And then Bloodywood is an Indian metal band from New Delhi. And I actually just watched their documentary yesterday, which is called Raj Against the Machine.
Love it. Jane says the second you say grandma, we are trained to log off. Bob says the same thing. He's talking about his grandmother already. Is the show closing out?
Oh my gosh, Pavlov's dogs.
Raul says Chris is either talking about a dominatrix or his grandma.
Same person.
Oh, he's
same person. Yeah, so I watched Raj Against the Machine, which was a documentary about a Indian heavy metal band in New Delhi called Bloodywood. And one of the things I loved about them is that they had a whole bunch of songs. So their songs are in English and in Hindi at different parts. It's kind of one of those rap plus metal kind of bands, like what Linkin Park was doing, what Limp Bizkit and all those kind of guys were doing. But one of the things was that they had a song all about mental health and how to improve mental health called Jivaray. And that has become like a huge, rallying system. So people come to their concerts and say, man, I came here just to kind of headbang, but you really spoke to me about this thing about depression. And people are now like asking to marry at their concerts and that kind of a thing. And it's really become quite a movement. And on the other hand, they write the kind of songs that you would expect, sort of protest songs against local government. But even though you hear heavy metal coming out and you hear like crazy beats and all that, what you also hear are a band that started as a YouTube sensation and who went on to really capture the interest of a whole bunch of people.
So there's hope for you in your band. Raoul says, I thought that was the case. Very forward-thinking grandma. Mine would hide it. I don't know. I can honestly say I have no idea what my grandmother would think about the show or anything else. I didn't know her. I didn't know either one of them. So.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I know. Very sad.
Interesting.
I mean, I barely could get my mom to understand what I was doing. So it's a whole other thing.
I don't think they have a label yet. So I'm gonna risk playing just a tiny bit of their music. But don't anybody run away if you hate metal. I'm only gonna play like 20 seconds of it. So hang on. Oh, and I want to talk about another one of their songs too. Let's see.
It's muted on purpose.
I think it's starting song. Oh.
I don't see how you can compare this band with another band. Like, they're very unique.
Diversity defined, war and one, unity undefined. Swords in the furnace, that is the daisy grind. Cut the battle with my fists as much as my mind. So, if you hear, you know, we got more drama than HBO. And fuck front row seats with the show. So step into the scene if you're ready to go.
So anyway, I'll stop playing it. But so look at all the elements in there. There's like classical music, classical Indian folk music built in. The point is that they're in a crazy place that's, atypical. They're saying that, we made the show. We're the show. We're the people. And I think it's fascinating. Another one of their most recent songs ended up coming out against sexual assault and rape. And they're saying it's nothing to do with what a woman wears. It's nothing to do with, this, and this. It's all about you're a bad person and you're a rapist. And, calling for stronger laws about that, which is a problem that's going on in India. So
Andy says, have you been to India? It is amazing.
Not yet. I've had 2 opportunities fall through. And so that's a big, crazy idea. No flag is bigger than black flag. I mean, I wouldn't say that in America and not get beat
Bob
up.
Bob also says your grandmother would love the Chocolate Masters entrepreneur.
I mean, Philip Ashley Ricks, she would love. Sure.
I'm not even kidding when I say, like, I'm tempted sometimes to drop $75 on a box of chocolates for myself.
Just to eat it. Don't tell anybody.
Just to eat them because they were so good.
Yep.
They're so good. Seriously. And I know that, like, he got slammed because the same night Philip Ashley chocolates was featured on ABC News, I think it was, and Oprah, like The List or something, one of her favorite things. And he just got slammed with like 7,000 orders overnight and had, only the same people he'd had the day before to help him make it all happen. And so obviously things took a long time to ship and like people were really mad, and the reviews online still reflect that. But he did not let quality slip. He actually stopped taking new orders and didn't sell another thing until he was like fully caught up. And it was so good. Stuff was so good. I don't know if I have.
Super tasty.
It's really good. I like the Wonder Woman one that has like, I want to say it has some pomegranate or something in it.
Really so, in a way, one of the things we're doing is we are showing the secrets underneath the surface of what makes the Backpack Show run. What makes the Backpack Show run is we like to talk about things we're passionate about, we're excited about, and that in as many cases as possible, expose you to a new place you've not been, or a new person you haven't heard about, or a new concept that, you hadn't really put all the way together. And, sometimes it's just you may have heard of someone, but never dug deep enough. Andy's book, I did not know her work super well. And then when I got that newest of new books, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is huge. So I think it's really a great opportunity. It works 2 ways
for me. So the one way is, I think, something like, I want to find a chocolatier. And, we make an effort when we can to feature different voices, a diverse guest panel and stuff. And I thought, I'm going to find like a Black chocolatier, or I'm going to find an Indigenous business owner. I'm going to find I want to go out and find people with different perspectives that we can learn from. And so that's one way. Or I want to find an Irish sheep farmer, or I want to talk to a dominatrix. I wonder what that's about, like how you actually make a living. Do you ever see somebody and think, how you actually make a living though? Like, are you a trust fund baby? Do you actually have enough money to do this? Like, how does this go? So sometimes it's that curiosity. Other times I get a pitch or just read or see something that I really respond to. And that's the Brogan approach. Like, that's how you book most of your people, is you see something that you like and reach out and get the person who did it on the show. So sometimes I do that too. Like Shannon McGuire, the author of the Wayward Children series and a whole bunch of other books. That's how I got her on, because I discovered and instantly loved her stuff.
But that's what I come to love about the show too. I love that I find a guest based on one method. You find it another. We both come away, I at least come away appreciating yours. I mean, Cody just mentioned Banana Laffy Taffy. You know who that made me think of course, right?
Savannah
Bananas.
Jesse Cole. Jesse Cole, the Savannah Bananas, brought baseball back to Savannah. And believe me when I tell you, like, nobody was interested. They hadn't supported a franchise there in decades. Like, there was no successful team. The stadium was empty. They got it for, I think they moved in, everything had been ripped out. Like, there was nothing even there. They were sitting at a picnic table trying to figure out what they could do to make this work. And they just decided they were going to put customer experience, like,
this guy's
first
in
and
stilts.
foremost. Yeah, they call it fans first, but they created a circus where a baseball game breaks out. They've actually shortened the game since then. Like, created a new game that's like modified
game.
Yes, it's like modified baseball, because it's summer league, so you can like sort of do whatever you want. And so they created a game where it's like baseball but shorter and faster, so they could fit more circus stuff around it. And they have, instead of cheerleaders or whatever, they have the Savannah Bananas. The Banana Nanas, the senior citizen, like dance team that goes out. And then they do the banana baby. They'll bring a baby out and put the baby in a banana costume. Anyway, it's freaking ridiculous. And he wears a yellow tuxedo with a yellow topette. And I think it's more like, for me, it's not just the crazy spectacle he created and the fact that they sell out every game, every season, like in minutes. It's the fact that it's not like he came to it a trust fund baby. All right. They risked everything. They sold their furniture. They were sleeping. They sold their house. Yeah. They were like sleeping on a mattress saying, well, if this thing doesn't work, we're screwed. And they just went all in and it made it work. And it's amazing what they did. So that's something we can all learn from. They have a handbook that they give to their employees about how to put the fans first. It's like the fan first culture. And from that handbook alone, I feel like every business could successfully replicate, their version of this, even if you're B2B or whatever. Everyone's like, we can't do crazy stuff like this. Yeah, you can. People are like, you know what I want? I just want to be bored all the time.
That's right.
That's what I want. Even in B2B transactions, they want the same things they want the rest of the time. They want to have a little fun and get what they need, obviously. Bob Collins says, I'll find a nun, a dominatrix, and an educator who ink tattooed his eyes.
Well, we had to.
I found Sylvain Helene, the freaky hoodie, the one you're talking about, primary school teacher who had been told he could no longer teach kindergarten because his tattoos were frightening children. And he had, I guess, the equivalent of tenure in the French school system. So like they couldn't say he couldn't teach at all, but not kindergartners. So it was really interesting. We talked to him and he was saying how the kids actually, after the initial kind of shock, understand that he's more than his appearance, which is a valuable lesson for any child or adult actually these days to take to heart, right? Is that we are so much more than first impressions and outward appearances. But yeah, I was like, hey, listen, I love ink, right? But I'm not doing my eyes. I can't with that.
He did his eyes black. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Intense. I can't. I feel like I remember him saying it didn't hurt that much because I forget the reason, but I was like, I don't believe you. I don't ever want to know.
I feel like it does hurt much.
And then the nun was a reactive guest, Sister Anne Flanagan of the Daughters of St. Paul, on Twitter at nunblogger. True story. Because the day that you booked an adult film star for the show, I was like, I'm getting a nun. I want to find a nun that uses Twitter. And I found nun blogger on Twitter who led us to the Daughters of St. Paul, which is a convent dedicated to spreading the gospel like through new media, which in like the 70s meant something different, but now is like Twitter and TikTok, I guess. I don't know.
So I have a freaky hoodie overlap story. Well, it just overlaps because we know him. It has nothing much to do besides that. But my son works at a retail store up in New Hampshire, and I pick him up and take him to work every now and again. And so he almost always wants to go through McDonald's, at least for like a drink or something on the ride home. And there's this fella at the drive-thru who has 1 billion tattoos. He's no freaky hoodie, but he's like normal person version of all the tattoos you could ever have.
Nice.
And he's cordial and everything like that. He works at a McDonald's. He's like a regular McDonald's employee, but that not everybody gives this guy, any kind of kindness or whatever. That there's a lot of people who are like, why does this man work at this McDonald's? And so I asked him about it. Have you ever heard of Freaky Hoodies, Savannah? And I said, I can't remember Savannah's last name. And I said, Savannah Helene. I said, he's a school teacher in Paris. And he goes, what? I go, yeah. And the school like booted him out of teaching kindergarten, but he's like allowed to still teach like, grades 1 through whatever. And he goes, no way. And I go, yeah, but like, he's super respectable. He's this model and blah, 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 blah. I said, I always think of you when I see him. He goes, oh man, that's cool. Thanks. It's interesting to be thought of that way. And I said, yeah, I mean, you clearly had a lot of passion to get that much art done. I'm curious if you're going to keep going. He goes, what do you mean? I said, he keeps overdoing his tattoos. He's
not overdoing it like you're overdoing it. It's like he is going over the same spot. Yeah. Because the process for him is sort of cathartic or something. I hate the process. If I could give them the same amount of money or more money and not go through the process to have my tattoos, I would do it. I would prefer that. Sandy says, I think it's a valuable lesson on learning to enjoy our differences instead of bullying people who are different than us. I had a college roommate who was from Japan, and she had gotten a perm. And when she went home, her family made her straighten her hair chemically because her hair was curly and they did not like it.
Yeah. And every now and again, we interview horror and comedy stars from Mexico.
That was amazing.
Horacio Garcia Rojas and Fatima Molina.
Yeah, you sent a thirsty tweet to Fatima, who's too sweet to understand you were thirsty.
Yeah, the real truth is I sent her a thirsty tweet. I was like, I really love you in Diablero. And Horacio wrote back, hey, cool, man. Glad you like the show. I was like, not you.
Of course,
but I couldn't
love
be that
him.
way. Yeah, and I couldn't be that way. And so he ended up, I love him. He's so great. He's so fun.
The two of you were chatting backstage. We had like someone else we were talking to that day. Was it Nancy Harhut, I want to say. And I was like, dude, wait, eyes up. You were so into Horacio.
Oh my gosh. We were talking like idiots all backstage. And
Cody says you should interview someone who likes black licorice. Didn't you know someone who put black licorice on oatmeal?
Oh, Helen. Oh my gosh. Helen, 104 years old. She was like, do you know, I'm 104 years old. And should I wish to put black licorice on my oatmeal, I will do it.
Why bother with the oatmeal then?
Thank you, Andrea. I mean, think for the kind
I
of
guess
weight
there's health reasons.
I think the weight of it, just kind of like the thickness. You're going to have oatmeal.
Cody's judging Helen.
Oh, yeah.
Are people from the South allowed to judge other people's cuisine? Because I feel like no. Now that I live here, the more I'm exposed to here, I feel like we should not. Bob Collins says the more you present your unique inner self confidently, the more you support other uniques to find their own voice. That reminds me of that Shel Silverstein poem where both people are walking around wearing a mask. And so they never realize, they just pass each other by because they never realize that they're the same underneath, like compatible.
Wow. Well, that makes me think of though. It makes me think it'd be so cool if there was this guy who showed off a lot more about who he was and like launched the podcast and, got even more people into the storyline.
You talking about Cody? Talking about black licorice?
Bob Collins.
Oh, Bob Collins.
You might have heard of
Mr. Bob Collins. I sure have. He's a collector.
Yeah. Now, we've also had the pleasure. Ooh, I don't know what I just did there. We've also had the pleasure every now and again to talking to someone, from a category that we find interesting. So I'll give you an example of that.
From Mint Mobile to tell you about that. It's so freaking huge. I asked Epic Voice Guy to translate it into summer blockbuster. You ready, John?
Ready. In a world where big wireless companies friggin' hate you, a hero will rise. This summer, Mint Mobile is free for 6 months.
Now do me.
Right now, you get 6 months of free service when you buy a new phone and a 6-month plan.
Stop doing me. Stop it. I don't sound anything like that.
John Bailey is amazing. So he has lost, like, I don't even know. It's got to be 100 pounds anyway. And he's been tracking his journey on social media. And it's nuts. It's like he looks like a completely different person, but he still sounds like 150 different people. So.
Right. Well, and the story kind of behind this story was that, he got trashed on that commercial, like in the comments. People were just going after him for being a big fat dude. And he was like, oh, well. And so he lost 100+ pounds.
I'm really happy for him, deciding to get healthy and committing, but I also feel like F those people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Hello, I'm in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds. You're trolling on YouTube. So
and little did they know. Oh, this is a great picture of him. Hang on a second. Little did they know that John, who, like, again, he lost 100-ish pounds just to show off, hey, audience, I can do whatever I feel like. Here I am. He's the voice of Optimus Prime on several different Transformers things. He does the voice over what they call ADR, like kind of fixing the holes in audio for people
if
like
they can't
Ryan
bring
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds back to like voice over some stuff because he's on to the next project, they'll get somebody like John to come in, just go over a couple lines. Or if, like, you can't swear in the trailer because the trailer has to be rated, for more people than the movie itself, he'll voice over that and make it so they don't swear. But man, he's just crazy good. You can find him on Instagram, Twitter, Epic Voice Guy, everywhere, I think.
And it's your fault we got him on the show because we had your friends, the Aquabats,
The oral knots.
Ones.
So the oral knots take I can't even describe it. It's so funny. The way I discovered them, they do a lot of different things. They do really cool music on YouTube. But the way I discovered them was they recut the Star Wars movies with crazy dialogue. Like, they just rewrite the whole story and the dialogue and add music. And it's hilarious. And it was one of the first things that I could actually watch with my kids and we could all enjoy. So, I mean, like, I suffered through Thomas the Tank Engine, Super Wide, all that stuff. So when they got to the age where we could watch YouTube together, I was like so excited. And the oral knots, I just love them.
Set your course for the Hoth system and bring my son to me alive.
Admiral? Sir, what is your son's name?
He goes by the name Skywalker.
Not exactly a funny clip, but a clip. But you can see what they were going for.
They've done a ton. So
we got the oral.
They did kill counts, like Lord of the Rings kill counts and stuff.
And in that process, John Harrison was here, who's written a book about video games as they apply to business. He goes, "Oh man, too bad you couldn't get a guy like Epic Voice Guy on." So we're like, "Why can't we?" And that's half of how we do the show too. Hey, how do I get Sir Mix-a-Lot on? Well, and there he is. We've had so much fun with those kinds of shows.
I always figure we can but ask, So if I find someone out there and I'm interested in what they do, I'll just ask. And if they come and like it, then, we've created a relationship that lasts. You still get texts. You still get emails. So I love it. Oh, and then we had Epic Voice Guy came on. I was trying to put together a really cool roster that week. That same week we had the Oral Nuts on, and we had Epic Voice Guy. I don't know if it was the same week or later. But we had Epic Voice Guy on with the original voice of Siri.
Yes,
who's a voiceover actor. Who did the original voice of Siri. And it sounds like it was not as much fun as you would have thought it would have been. Can y'all get a professional wrestler from the Attitude Era?
He's teasing at this point. Because
You had Sir Mix-a-Lot. When did that happen? That was, I want to say it was
early.
August. Yeah, like August of 2020 or something.
Like episode 10.
As you're quick to point out, isn't exactly exactly in alignment with what one thinks when they think of former professional wrestling world champions, nor horror movie stars. When I'm in Dallas and we're starting to get into leaning backwards, I hear you in my head. I'm doing a diamond cutter, even though none of them are. I'm the only idiot in the class doing it. I mean, it's just how did you realize that you could just be you going into building this program? I mean, because it's so full of dogma yoga. So how did you just say, I'm Diamond Dallas Page no matter where I am?
It started out, Chris, it was totally by accident, really, from A to Z. And I sort of stumbled into stuff because when I first started doing the yoga,
isn't it? Starting by accident. That's all. We did it by accident too.
You growed up. Your voice changed and everything.
I'm not talking to you.
If you do, use your sexy new voice.
My new voice is in that other guy.
Debbie says no gatekeepers, go directly to them. You know what? They'll either see what we do and like it, or they won't, and that's fine. What is this Chris Brogan's casting tape for Dr. Phil?
Well, look, I can't find my appearance on Dr. Phil. It's on here somewhere. It's on the internet.
You didn't
somewhere.
keep that? You should have kept that.
No,
Oh, Bob Collins going to bed.
I'll see you.
Oh, going to pick up the little man. Oh, nice.
Lessons from Hulk.
Lessons from Hulk Hogan. We did have another professional athlete on. You found her, Taylor Hendricks.
Taylor Hendricks. She's a current wrestling person
and podcaster.
And podcaster. So
and
we
author.
Yeah, she did many things, at least a little.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever brought on. We never did. I have a luchador friend too, so I'm gonna Latin Thunder. So he's worth pulling up. Latin Thunder, by the way, is what happens to me after having Mexican food. But
stop it. As long as it doesn't happen to you, like while you're at the table in the restaurant, you're probably okay.
Right. All I usually do at Mexican restaurants is choke.
Stop. There's been, we've just had these moments where I thought it was kind of crazy. Like, wow, I can't believe that they came, but it's so much fun. And it's equally as much fun for me to discover someone that I feel like doesn't get enough attention and help, give them a voice. Maybe sometimes we've been some people's first ever podcast interviews, which is crazy to me because they always really open up and end up having a great time. So it doesn't happen like a lot that we're their very first, but some of them we were.
Was Blood Guy? Was he like the horse blood guy? Wasn't he?
Yeah. Greg Harbutt of Harbutt Bloodstock. He's like a thoroughbred guy. So with a stake in ownership stake in one of the horses in the Kentucky Derby, the only Black owned horse that raced in the Kentucky Derby. And that was an interesting time to have him on too, because I wanted to talk about, a lot of people were protesting the Derby and the history of racism and exclusion in that sport, in racing in general. And he was racing. And so when people would ask him about it, I saw an interview with him and he's like, we are protesting like a buy racing. We're going to sit it out.
We're racing, which is the protest.
So hard to get here. Yeah. So that was interesting. That's what attracted my attention. But after that, I was like, do you already have to be rich to get into thoroughbreds? Or like, how does that keep going? How does money turn into more money? Like, unless you're a Vanderbilt or something, you don't have that much money that you could just blow it on a hobby for your whole life. So like, how is this a business? I was interested in that.
For sure.
Debbie says Taylor Hendricks was great.
Yeah, she was. I'm glad she was there.
Oh, Cody, just let me try it till I get it right.
I would believe in it.
Do an elbow drop.
I would believe in it. We've had so many. I mean, I was trying to think through the whole list of people we should not have reached, like Broadway performers and, so many authors. Authors are easy. Like, I got to tell you, that's the easiest person to get. Somebody has to promote their new book and they're like, okay, fine.
But sometimes I come across somebody who's quite successful. Like Shauna McGuire doesn't need us. she came because she's cool and she could see that I really loved her stuff.
Right.
And there's other people that the backpackers, tell us about, and we go get them if they're willing to come. And it changes, our perspective on things. Like, we didn't know who Janie Godley was until Chloe in Scotland told us, you have to meet this amazing comedian. And so we had her on, and it was like, I didn't know anything about her background. What an incredible person. She overcame so much just to survive, never mind to thrive in comedy, which is like a male dominated, industry. And she fights every single day.
And then just recently through a huge bout of cancer.
She's now fighting cancer.
Yeah.
But I mean, every day she fights ignorant men on the internet who think she doesn't deserve her success.
Right.
And now she's got cancer on top of it. So, God, she's amazing. Like, she's always out there. So, but we never would have heard of her if it wasn't for everyone coming to the backpack show.
Yep, and doing the backpack show. We've had so much serendipitous luck that, what can you say about it? It's just
so much fun.
Endless joy.
Theirs are easy. Hey, Brogan, says Cody.
Nothing truer. And yes,
Cody's hoping for a little something.
Next
gonna
pab,
send you a
baby.
thirsty tweet.
Next pab, baby. I'll tell them, make me 2 room keys.
Oh, you too. You say your name was Latin Thunder. I don't know. And the people who come to join us in the experience have become this huge network too. Like, I talk to them as much. And then the people who come on the show hang out with us at other shows and come back, like Len Joy and Andy, even, who is here. They become part of the network too. Like Cindy Gallup, we had her on, the Michael Bay of business,
right,
to talk about her business, Make Love Not Porn. And she talks a lot about venture capital and getting funding as a woman-owned business. And she calls people on their BS all the time. And every now and again, we'll get support from people who've been on the show in some interesting and fun way.
Guests of the show stay at the inconveniently located from downtown or anywhere, never to be confused with luxurious and never updated FDR Hotel, located somewhere off Highway 84 near an old gas station with a burned out van parked out front with a for sale sign.
I don't know how we didn't even ask him to do that stuff for us. He's amazing. So Raul Colon says Latin Thunder. That is cultural appropriation, Brogan. Your grandma would not be proud. The thing is, Celtic Thunder is already taken. It's a band, so he couldn't
my
use that
luchador
one.
friend. Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Use it. But so remember when we had the voice of NBA Jams on, and the guy who wrote the NBA Jam book, and Josh Sway, who did the documentary Insert Coin. It was crazy. And then we ended up with all this cool voiceover stuff. All right, this is just weird. I feel like you're spying on this.
This is
spying on this guy. But it looked like you were looking through a peephole, like,
oh, I don't know. That's
in his room, weirdo.
He's a luchador.
So
I met him at you know where I met him? I met him at a Nick's event. Nick Westergaard.
Social Brand Forum?
Yes, in like Idaho,
Coralville, Iowa.
Cedar Rapids,
Coralville,
Iowa.
Iowa.
Coralville. Yeah. That's where I met my Mexican luchador wrestling friend.
Well, that makes sense.
Iowa.
That looks like a Howard Johnson Says role. I think it was before it got burned down.
Right, but that's where our guests come.
So, man, Tim Kitzrow was so good to us. We have more stuff that he recorded that we haven't turned into anything yet. But my God, the guy is so funny.
By the way, if anyone knows Josh Sway or still follows Josh Sway after doing the show, you can ask him where my chips are. Josh is doing this incredible session where he's going to Chinatown over and over and over again and eating these incredible Chinatown only versions of Lay's potato chips. And he told me he was going to make me up a little box, but he's like me about going to the mail. I can't go to the mail. I have some kind of weird mental glitch, and he won't go to the mail. So I need my bag of chips.
There is this thing that you can go online and order chips. It's called
but I'm not going to know what they say. I'm not going to know which ones I'm
getting. Who cares what they say?
Look at shrimp legs
or whatever.
They have weird names.
Take a picture of it and post it, and somebody will tell you what it says. So a bunch of people will also lie to you, and
that's always true.
But you look until you get like a consensus, and then you figure out if it's something you can eat.
I was trying to learn a Hindi expression, and I was told maybe I have it a little wrong, but
Oh.
This is also me who tried once to order chicken on a salad, and I accidentally ordered chicken on an escalator in Mexico City. Yo quiero.
Did they bring it to you?
No, they laughed.
Shrimp legs is a delicacy in southern Kentucky. No comment, Cody. Leslie says, "Good evening, Smidge Late."
Hello, Smidge Late.
And Raul's a fan of El Santo.
El
You should check out this Mexican band.
Oh, there's hang on a minute. Hang on.
Uh-oh. He's searching.
No, it's not going to be good. It's not gonna be good.
Chris, if you need to translate something, just text me, says Raul. Debbie's picking up a friend. Lucky friend. Say hello. This is the show right here, is you looking up things on YouTube.
Yeah, this is the episode.
This is what you do. You type things and you watch YouTube and sometimes listen to books.
I had a song. Anyway, I'm not going to share it because I can't find it.
And sometimes read books. Oh, I found, so this is another way. Very rarely I find in the local newspaper things that are interesting to me. And I haven't found these two yet, like their website, but I'm looking. So it's a couple. They both had bariatric surgery and it changed their lives. And now they have completely different hobbies and stuff, but they started a business, like a fitness business of their own. I'm like, that's kind of cool. Because I was sort of thinking, if one person makes a radical lifestyle change and the other one doesn't, that's usually not great for the relationship. But so they did it at the same time and now actually have a business together. And I'm like, that could be super annoying. Like already on top of everything else. So I don't know. It could be interesting. That's the other way. Just serendipity. Sometimes
serendipity.
The local paper is really good for funny headlines too. Like remember all the snow we had this year in Tennessee? They were like, "It happened again" was one of the headlines that they printed. It keeps happening. That's what it was. Keeps happening. Uh-oh. Christopher, you're gonna get copyrighted.
I put a fist to the face of a rapist, and yeah, I take this for the viewing pleasure of the nameless faces, he disgraces, and yeah.
I thought we'd go out on a little bit of bloody.
Thank the Lord for Kerry, who fills the gaps when Chris can't find things.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, my one and only Savior.
Hey.
Jesus Cristo. Okay.
See, most people just see the tweet. They don't realize it takes you 25 minutes to find the thing you tweeted. That's the show.
That's how our show runs.
Mm-hmm.
If our show was done in real time, it'd be like every 25 minutes I'd go, "Hey guys, see? Hey,
yeah,
you sent me the cutest horse today." And then I ended up having to send it to all kinds of people. I sent it to your boss.
Which one? My boss or my grand boss?
Oh, well, your boss.
Because I had to.
Because I confessed. Where's it in Slack? Oh, I don't have Slack open because reasons. All right, we should go.
No, it's so cute.
Oh, and here's our person of the day. Kaboom!
If you find the horse really fast, you could do it.
Okay. It's not going to take me 25 minutes. I'll see what I
What was his name? He had a weird ass name too, like Weston or something weird, or like Wheat.
It's on Instagram. Do you even have Instagram?
No.
Well, okay then.
Instagram, little horse.
All right, I'll send you the link, and you can show everybody the horse, the Hattie Deedy horse, and then we can all go home.
There's also a horse called Mini Wheat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fun horse names.
Horse names.
Cody wants to see the horse.
All right, hang
so
on,
this legitimately is adorable. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, hang on.
All right.
Peabody the house horse. I'm gonna play it again.
A
Ready?
little clippity clop. Yeah. be so happy.
One more time.
Aw. He left Instagram because Raul.
Yeah, it's probably his fault.